Yes, with our turtle research and monitoring program. The monitoring program on Sanibel started in the late 1950s with Charles LeBuck and Coretta Research, and continued until 1992 when SCCF took over because Coretta Research disbanded. So we monitor the beach daily from May through October for signs of sea turtle activity, and I'll explain a little bit more about what that involves in a minute. And there are over 100 volunteers, probably closer to 130 volunteers at this point that help with this effort. So it's an army of volunteers, and we couldn't do it without them. A lot of them are here today, so thank you. So this is the first thing we're looking for. Because the sea turtles nest at night, we don't actually see the sea turtle when we're out there in the morning. We're looking for the crawls from the night before. And this is what they look like. You can see the difference between a loggerhead and a green crawl. The loggerheads use alternating limb movement like a baby, and the green sea turtles use simultaneous limb movement, which ends up making a much straighter type path than the wavy loggerhead. And then, a lot of you might know this, but when sea turtles come up onto the beach, they don't always nest. Sometimes they turn around and go back in the water for whatever reason without nesting. We call this a false crawl. This behavior is poorly understood, but we think it's because they either get scared by a human or a predator, or maybe there's lightning, or they just don't like something about the environment. So what we're looking for is, there are a lot of field signs, but the big one is a mound of sand over the crawl. And you can see the differences between the loggerhead and green turtle nests. The loggerheads do throw sand after they finish nesting to camouflage the nest. But the green sea turtle really spends a long time covering her nest, and it ends up looking like a bomb went off on the beach at the end. They can dive deeper than any other sea turtle. I think it's around 4,500 feet deep they can dive, and they migrate longer than any other sea turtle. They eat pretty much exclusively jellyfish, and they're named leatherbacks because they have a soft, rubbery carapace rather than the bony carapace of the other turtles. And I just like to include this because you can really see the size of the turtle in this one. We did have one leatherback nest here on Sanibel in 2009. And just check out those huge flippers. I always notice that, how much sand they can throw with those things. And this is a little hatchling. And you can see, even as hatchlings, they have those huge flippers. This is a green sea turtle. They're actually named for the color of their fat, not the color of their shells. They're big sea turtles, not as big as leatherbacks, but they're about 300 or 400 pounds, about 3.5 or 4 feet long. And we've had a couple green sea turtle nests here or there on Sanibel, but last year was a huge nesting year for green sea turtles here on the island. There were, I think, 21 nests laid by green sea turtles here. And this is a picture of one of them. She was leaving in the morning, I guess. I like this picture because you can see the beautiful pattern that they have on their carapace as juveniles. It's sort of this nice sunburst pattern. Some of them lose it as adults, but sometimes they keep it. It just depends on the individual, but I just think it's really pretty.